Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Europa Universalis IV with me, Alfapiomega, Meiou and Taxes, and Denmark. So I'm starting this episode with a bunch of good news. The first one is that we can now invest into Smithian economics, and let's just check how much that's gonna increase our income. Oh, I actually increased the army maintenance 2 months ago so that we would reinforce our army. It was still standing at 9.3 thousand, so I wanted to speed things up. So we have 2.69 in gold now, and once we get this, we are going to get plus 20% production efficiency. By adopting new techniques in economic matters, we shall support a vibrant market that will increase our overall production efficiency. And we gotten an extra yearly inflation reduction, which means that our inflation should actually, no, it's not lowering, but it should. And let's see how much this will change. Wow, and actually grant us quite a lot of extra money. Good for us. The next good news is that we are going to get a stability boost in the next recalculation, which is good. But as you can see, we still lack about 100,000 people since the plague has hit. I don't know if it's a decade or maybe, I think it might have been 2 decades or 15 years probably. I think around the year 1405 we went after Rugen. So that was not a severe plague, guys. That was just a mild plague, and you can see how much it hurt us. Now, our industrious queen is enjoying the peace that we are getting. She's 28, though still infertile. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna let her be blessed. Oh, each queen may do this only once in her reign. So, yeah, that makes sense. We can get blessed again. Okay, never mind. We're gonna keep this for future use. And we're very soon going to see what Hakan will be like. I'm looking forward towards the introduce heir event because it's there for only a very short time. It's gonna give us a bit of a boost in prestige and a bit to legitimacy. I think it gives 3 legitimacy and 10 prestige, but it strengthens the claim of our heir. As he has strong claim, I actually expect him to get to the throne with 100% legitimacy. Or 100 legitimacy. I think it's a percentage, actually. It would make sense. 100%. So, yeah, we'll see about that. Now that we have finished all of the economic ideas, we can get back to the technologies and get some Inns of court. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. I'm looking forward to that quite a lot because it's gonna give us soon a boost to the centralization. Centralization is a mechanic. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it sets a maximum amount of centralization or central power that your king holds. And we have been on a max for a long time. I don't know how much it increases, but the important part is that this lowers your autonomy. You can see that it also lowers inflation, gives us trade power, income from vassals, and a huge boost to monthly autonomy change. Actually, like a negative boost. It lowers the autonomy by 0.27 in all provinces, but increases national unrest, stability increase, fort maintenance, core creation cost, promoted cultures are lowered, and liberty desire is increased. So it's a, win-win scenario, or win-lose scenario. You gain something, you lose something, yada yada yada. You know what I mean. There's not much happening in the world. I'm gonna speed it up a bit. The Ottomans are still trying for Constantinopolis. It has been a year and a month since they laid siege to it. They still haven't been able to do anything. But the defenders, the Empire of the Romans, are losing heavily from battles and stuff. So oh hey, we got an event. Or not an event, an information. But it appears that the Ottomans are gonna win this war quite easily. I don't know what they're fighting for. Is there any other province, or is this really the last province that they have. It's really the last province, so they're really fighting just for Constantinople, which is a very valuable province, and they will get quite a lot of boost. So our heir is careful, which gives us extra diplomatic reputation and aggressive expansion cost. Woot, because that's what we need for the increase in diplomatic reputation. And we're gonna finish a mission once he gets on the throne, if we can keep other stuff up as it is. The stability should recalculate very soon, but can we introduce heir? We can. It costs 16 gold, gives us 5 prestige and a yearly boost to prestige, 20 diplomatic power. So we've done that, and the stability has increased. Another boost to income, another boost to growth. Things are looking good. So what I'm going to focus on now, using our industrious queen, is building a thing that I calculated as the most important. We need stronger navy so that we can overall get more trade protection. And for that, the building, which is called shipwright, is the best. It increases your naval force limit by 5%. Actually, no, by 5. Flat 5, and it lowers the shipbuilding time, gives defensiveness and ship repair boost. It also, however, gives an urban gravity boost and a local trade power boost, which is a reason why I'm pondering where we're gonna build that. We should build it somewhere where we will use it, because, you know, building it somewhere like Borgdangholm will give us a boost, but we will definitely not use the urban gravity boost or the trade power boost. But if we build it somewhere like our capital, it costs so much. I don't even think we'll be able to get there in our lifetime. So Skåne seems like a good middle ground between us and between the capital and between them, yeah, us and them, between our province that we think would be useful and between provinces that are completely wasteful. Another one that I'm thinking about is Östjutland, but the province here is that it's under control of the greater nobles and has a huge autonomy. It would, however, be cheaper here. But I think Skåne itself is better. The urban population there is higher, I think. Yeah. And so is the gravity. So the flat-out bonus would be easier to manage. And we can then just boost it by building the communal hall. They already got the marketplace, and things would get started. Alternatively, I'm considering building a warehouse for our capital, but I think that's gonna come later. We really need to get more ships out there. Yeah. So the missions we're gonna finish, the... what is it? Where was it? Protect our lands. Yeah, the dynastic reputation will give us 50 diplomatic power. And the next is impress diplomats, where we need urban development of at least 10 in our capital. Well, that's gonna take a while. We're at 4 now, and the highest we were was 5, I think. But the port will get us very close to finishing the build up the navy goal. But the next one is subjugate Verden. Should give us army tradition. Greenland. Which one of you is Verden? That's Wolfgast. Stettin, Holstein, Lübeck, Dithmarschen. Oh, here's Bremen, Verden. And just Verden is where? It's Friesland, Oldenburg. That's Bremen. Osnabrück. That's so weird. Bremen, Verden. Okay, I think I don't see it. Maybe it's these guys. Bremen, Verden? Could that be it? Edstif and Viren. Oh yeah, that's it. It just specifies the provinces, not the actual, kingdom or duchy in this case, I believe. Bishopric. Okay. Well, we got that to look forward to. Well, we can invest in another technology which is called full plate armor. So let's do that. It gives us, for the next 10 years, era armor tradition +1. So, full plate armor, level 13. Full suits of plate armor were worn by some heavy cavalry. Full suits protected the soldiers much more effectively than a breastplate, but their cost and weight made them unpopular for centuries. Once they were used in battle, however, their effectiveness was undeniable. Maneuver value of our units is increased by 5%, and cavalry shock increased by 0.5%, and enables a new type of cannon called Hoofdnietse. So we have moved from the wheeled Ribodekins to bombards, and now Hoofdnietzes are the first one that gives us some defensive values. They give defensive fire, defensive shock, and defensive morale of 1. Their offensive morale is still 3, but their offensive fire lowered to 2. But that doesn't matter, they're more useful than before. Another thing that I would like to mention is that our industrious queen has decided that rooting out corruption is a worthwhile attempt, but she's not gonna invest too much of the treasury in it anymore. So she lowered the budget for that, and now we're gaining significantly way more gold. And that's good, because we will get closer to our goals as she's getting older. Wow, she's been on the throne for 15 years already. Interesting. Anyway, I wanted to also mention that the Ottomans have finally taken Constantinople late last year. It has been a worthy fight, but the Empire of the Romans is no more. Now it's gonna be soon renamed to Istanbul. I wonder why they didn't rename it yet. The province Trauma, pardon me, the tea is really kicking back. The province trauma is quite high here, but you know, I forgot to mention that we have none anymore. No province trauma in our territory whatsoever. So it lowers and lowers and lowers, and then it disappears completely. The last value I've seen was 19.7, I think. And it's gone now. So the population is increasing further and further, but we are still lacking. I'm pretty much almost 100% positive that we're gonna build the shipwright in Skåne. But I have to double check. Ceylon, yeah, Ceylon is so expensive. So would our capital, but the boost I would get to the population would be undeniable. The second, however, port that we will build of this kind is going to be built in Rügen. I'll tell you why now. I want this province also fortified, and I would like to boost its population significantly. The reason for this is that it's basically our gateway into the mainland. We're not going to declare war on Mecklenburg-Schwerin for a long, long time, especially because our heir is careful. So this would be a staging ground for any invasion that we will in the future do. So a fort is in order. Another fort, however, will be built in our capital, because we have a mission for that I did not show you yet. There's protect our capital here. The next one is military investment, but we will need to complete an entire set of ideas for that one to kick in. Damn, our education level has changed once again. It's going up and down. The game can decide. We obviously don't have enough money to keep it up. Where's the substandard education? Well, it was the autonomy, but I think that Denmark should have a higher education, so let's check it out. How much are we losing? 0.1. The state is funding 5 gold per... 2 gold per year. The church is funding this much. Let's increase the funding by... We can't increase it by 1, it seems, so let's increase it by 5. That will ensure that the education will go up. It's gonna fall quite heavily on our income, but I think we'll be okay. We need to have wise, educated people on our court. Yet another technology is available, flush blanking. We're gonna get global trade power plus 20%. Beginning in the 15th century, European shipbuilders began building ships caravel style, using flush blanks to build a skeleton rather than the traditional clinker style of carving the hull first. This allowed shipbuilders to use much less expensive cuts of wood and not need the thousands of iron rivets clinker ships demanded. The result was a much cheaper ship that did not sacrifice quality. So we can now build paved road network and merchant quarters and increased colonial range. And our educational level has increased, so let's see how well it's doing. I'd like to see by how much it increased. It dropped by 0.1 and now it's increasing by 0.1. So that seems like enough. Can we decrease the funding? No. Actually, what I could do is cut all funding to education back and now increase the funding by 5. That would be better instead of the 7. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be enough to hold the education, but we'll see. I believe we will be able to. Meanwhile, our industrious queen has come up with another plan that is going to be, apart from the shipwright in Skana, she will build expansion of the roads from our capital to and through Sealand. She's going to do it this way. She is going to contribute manpower to the effort. We still don't have enough, but 75% of the work will be done by our soldiers. And then we are going to contribute the urban wealth, because who will benefit from this the most? Well, of course, our merchants, who are now way above the urban gravity. There's actually 5,000 more. That's like 125% urban saturation, isn't it? Yeah, 115%. So we really need to do something with that. And how would it be here? The roads would cost 318. If we wanted to contribute manpower here, I could also do the urban wealth thing. The rural wealth. Okay, so I think that after we are done with Sealand, we may upgrade the roads in our capital as well. Or instead, we might go with the roads in the Skana, where, if you are wondering, they are the most expensive. So it's gonna be definitely the manpower. Jesus Christ. Well, that's one way to lose all of your available men in the fighting age. Holy moly, the Renaissance has started. Did it really? It's actually quite early for that. No, it did not. That's weird. A school of thought called Humanism spread out of Italy, claiming that since God gifted man with intellect, intellectual pursuit was divine. Happening at a time when Greek scholars, fleeing the decline of Byzantium, brought back ancient texts that the West had forgotten, this led to the rediscovery and appreciation of ancient Roman writers and artists for their brilliance, rather than their condemnation as pagans. The new literate middle class that has arisen after the Black Death was just the audience to enthusiastically rediscover the glories of Rome, and this rebirth of classical culture spread across Europe in a splendid flowering of culture. However, the same idea also led some to heresy. Seeking the brilliance of ancient Rome, some humanists began to believe the reason could justify their lack of faith, and began to judge everything with reason, even the church itself. The church must come first. We gain an advisor or embrace the humanism. Oh wow. This is kind of weird. Choosing the Renaissance is a signal that this country will stay loyal to the Pope during the Reformation. It's not binding for human players. Embrace secular humanism. Well, we're far from the church, but we have a lot of papal influence. How's the church holding in our... Do we have any modifier right now? Distance from Vatican. Royal religious head. Cardinals in administration. Church influence. Now let's go with the church must come first. But this event usually signals that the Renaissance has started. But I don't see it anywhere. That's weird. Well, maybe it's gonna come soon. I think that it's, however, subsequent to what we have just seen. Well, never mind. By the way, last but not least, before I end this episode and start the next one, I've been going around looking at the development of Europe, and I found out that, of course, Paris is the unbelievably rich, but also largest city on the continent. But when I looked at Sweden, I was actually kind of surprised that Uppland and Småland are two valuable provinces with no or almost no urban development. However, Dalarna is probably the most populous province in all of Scandinavia. I have no idea why that is. If it's so fertile or something, the farming efficiency is pretty high. There's 18 urban pops, which gives the province population of 50,000. That can be right. There's more in Uppland. Yeah, what the hell, game? Why are you counting this so high? Is that a bug? Well, as far as Norway goes, the two very valuable provinces is Tunsberg and Akershus, which are the today's Oslo and Thunberg, but also, of course, Bergen, which I kind of like, because this could be our port in case we want to embark on expeditions across the ocean. And I was also kind of surprised to find out that quite a lot of people are living in the North province of Iceland. And also, here, damn, Iceland is actually kind of populous. Thinking about how many people it has now in today's day. That's not much growth since then. Interesting. Well, anyway, I'll see you in the next episode, where our industrious queen is going to start her innovations. Oh, and Lübeck claimed Lauland as their own. Oh, they can try. Come at me, bro.